Hi, my name's Asa. I'm an indie game developer, and I'm currently making a roguelike rhythm game called Rogue Rhythm, which is on Steam now, and you can play the demo. The demo is being updated. Keep that in mind. You can see the patch notes on Steam, or you can join my Discord and look in the log channel, which is what I'm going to be going over today for updates and seeing what I'm doing with the project. The demo should be completely finished pretty soon, maybe in a couple weeks, so keep that out. My first video on this channel is 1 month of rhythm game development, which showcased me going through this Discord channel, showing my first 30 days of progress. And it is now, you see, I started the project on April 15th, and it is July 24th, which is about 100 days. So I'm going to be going over 100 days of rhythm game progress. So we can get into it. So this is when I started the project, 417, right? So if you just saw that video, I'm just going to, we're going to skip all of this. All right, so this is where I stopped. So now it is going to be starting at 518. So I haven't looked over this in a while, so we can go over it together. Let's see what happened. So I added equipping, unequipping, looting animations, okay? And I implemented a battle countdown timer. Let's watch this video. So I ran into the enemy, I get this little animation, and boom. Slime comes in, animation done. So there's a couple things to go over here. Is you'll see how big this is, right? You'll see there's no UI over here. So I'm missing all of this. Those are a couple main things. But this shows the map, and the map is way bigger now. So it's a little bit more zoomed out. It's a little bit hard to see. I have been considering making it bigger, but that's how it is right now, because how I want it is the dungeons are going to get increasingly bigger and more complex the farther you go, right? Because this is just floor 1, so it's going to be pretty simple. I guess I could also make an enemy with the 3-4 sound. Oh yeah, so I was thinking, how can I make the game harder? So a couple things with this is basically what's happening is the bar is going to go across, and it's going to go across, and it's going to go across, and it's going to go across, and I'm going to have to click the correct key at the correct timing, right? So how can I make it harder? Okay, well, I can make it faster. That's one thing. And then I could also make the timing, I can make the timing smaller. And I was thinking, well, I could also mess with the music. I could make it a 3-4 song instead of a 4-4 song, so I can throw somebody off. Or for bosses, I can just implement new mechanics that will make it harder. So I was really planning a lot of things here. If you look here, this shows exactly what I'm going to be doing on each week or each days. So I'm doing polishing here, I'm doing the content here, I'm doing the collection log here. So I'm doing all these things. I had it all planned out. So that's why when I said here, I'm done with the first polishing print. Now I can make more enemies and more floors. I'm a day and a half ahead of schedule. So I had a strict schedule. And you'll see about the schedule, I didn't really do so good. It wasn't entirely my fault. It kind of was my fault. But you will see all the issues with Steam. So then I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to work on saving and loading today, which I don't even know. That's very important. So I was working on saving and loading, and you see here, I've never done anything outside of saving with player preferences, which already was a long time ago. And this game doesn't use any Unity player preferences to save any data. So I actually had to use a binary formatter, which was a bit of a learning curve, but with some help from a friend, I was able to save everything. And now the saving system is much more complex with all the other data I'm saving. And there's still more to be added, because right now, if you're in the middle of a dungeon and you leave, you close your game or you save, when you open your game, you're going to be on the same floor with all your same items and everything, with all the same collection log data, but your dungeon will be reset and you'll have to start that floor over. So I do want to save that, because essentially right now, if you are on floor 3 and you run into an enemy and you lose that battle, then you're going to restart that floor. Okay, fine. It's like a roguelike, right? You have to restart the floor. You don't really lose anything. All you do is you have to restart the floor. And that's just a regular enemy. It's not easy to lose to a regular enemy. They're not that difficult. But the bosses, they introduce new mechanics. So what I did with the bosses is, if you lose to a boss, you just spawn right outside the boss room. That's it. And you can try again. But let's say you get fed up, you close the game, and now you go back and now you have to do the entire floor again, right? That's kind of annoying. So I'm going to implement a save system so that if you save the game right outside the boss room, you can keep trying it for a couple of days until you get the hang of it. And yeah, so that's what the plan is. So I do have to make, that's going to be kind of a complex thing to save just because of how my game is set up. Because I didn't think about doing that in the future. I don't know. It's my first time doing it, so we'll see. So I saved everything, and I said whenever you take loot from an enemy or when you quit the game, it saves. And now, so, oh my god, that is loud. This is floor 2. I implemented you can see I went down the floor here, and now I went to floor 2, and it has a different background, and it has different enemies in it actually. So I think I ran into an enemy here because the first floor only has slimes and drill rats, and now the second floor has cybats and goblins, and each of them have their own enter animation, you see, and they also have their own sound effects now. This is when I uploaded the video and made my first video. Then I just said that there is a cybat and a goblin in floor 2. So I animated the goblin death animation. So I can show you a little bit of gameplay here. This is old gameplay, but oh wait. Okay, here I run into a goblin. And let's see, I take him down. Oh, this is one thing I want to talk about. See here, the health bar, it's slowly draining down. And whenever I do a successful attack, it goes up, right? But here, that's going to change in the future. But let's go to the goblin death animation. All right, I'm going to kill him here. And he gets split in half and he falls to the side. But yeah, that was funny. I'm not good at pixel art. I've talked about this a lot, but I'm not good at pixel art or animation. So here I was talking about expanding the floors from a 10 by 10 area to something like 30 by 30. So this is what I was talking about by making the floors more complex as it goes on. And this was experimenting with that. I think this, I'm not sure if it's this exactly. I think this was died down a little bit, but yeah, this is kind of how it looks now. And as I said, it still generates instantly. I can spam the regenerate button. So I was kind of proud of my terrible dungeon generator, procedural dungeon generator. All right, what now? Save system in place, UI. Yeah. Oh, look here. Now we have some UI for the collection log. So now you can actually see the monsters and you can see what they're weak to. But the items aren't there yet. Oh, here's an updated thing. So now it shows the drill rat, it shows weaknesses, and it shows the items that you received. So now I received, I got 2 out of 4 of the items from the drill rat. I've gotten the bow and I've gotten the chainmail. What else items are there? I don't know what the other items there are that it drops because I haven't received them yet. And if it's a monster that, if I go here, oh, that loot screen is crazy. Yeah, I also changed this. Yeah, this loot screen is horrible. But if I haven't seen that monster, it's just question marks, right? Until the drill rat, I've actually fought him before so I can see his data. So now I translated that over to the battle. If I haven't fought the slime yet, I don't know what his weaknesses are, but I've fought the drill rat before, so I can see he's weak to strength, he's weak to melee, and he's weak to slow melee attacks. And the slow melee attacks are the sword, because the dagger is the fast melee attacks. Wow, this loot screen is actually hideous. That is insane. Okay, now I had some sound effects. I had my guy do some. That is a little loud. I don't know. Oh no, this is me. I made these, and these were in the game for a little bit, but he made new ones. I guess he heard what I made and he was like, this is awful. Let me actually make a new one. This is the also sound effects I made. That one's kind of quiet. But that one's still in the game. Clicking the stats button still does that. The equip and the unequip sound effects are changed. And these ones are still in the game. I don't mind those. So those are cool. Oh, also this. I added keyboard sound effects. And it's not as bad when there's music playing over it. That's still in the game right now as well. I don't hate it. Which also reminds me, I think I need to write down something. I didn't do IJKL. I need to make more buttons. also make keyboard sound effects. You see, this stuff just pops into my head and I just put them in here real quick. And then I'll get to this later. So I'll just throw that up at the top somewhere. Okay. So I thought it'd be weird, like, to hear your keyboard and the keyboard sound effects. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So here I was like, okay, well, I need to start making music, obviously. I mean, have I waited too long to start making music for a roguelike rhythm game? Like, that's the entire concept of the game, right? And I was like, oh, I actually like to make music. I've made music before. I liked producing and I fell out of it. But when I actually started to make it, I realized how bad I was, especially at making game sounding music and making it like themed to the specific monster. If that's because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll have one song per one like beat loop per monster. But that's kind of difficult, right? So I just started doing it per floor. So at least two monsters can have the same music or the same loop. So I actually got a guy for free, thankfully. I just have to pay him rev share, so he'll probably get like, I don't know how much he'll get. Hopefully he'll get a lot. But he's been doing amazing. He's really good. He's done the music and these most of the sound effects. As I told you, he changed some of them and he added way more that I asked for. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm making music. If I'm making music for this, I need to know how fast the game is going to be. Because the thing is, I know that there's going to be 10 bosses in the game, right? And I know that every 3 floors there's going to be a boss. So I know that there's 30 floors in the game. And so I want 30 increments where the game is slowly speeding up. So I want it to go from slow to fast. So in order to make the music needs to be at a specific beats per minute. So I already know before I make the first song, I need to know what the speed of the last song is going to be. And what we decided on is, I think, an increment of 5 BPM per floor. And the way that I did this is I was testing it around. So I started playing this. This is a 120 BPM test, right? And here you can also see the color. Let me show you this. So the first bar comes by, right? And I miss it. And I added this color around here. It's a red border. So now I know I missed it. It's like a little bit of an indicator. He comes forward. He's hitting me, right? So he's red. I missed it there. My HP bar is red and it went down. So I missed it there. And this outside bar is red. So I know I missed it there. Now, that was literally like, I double clicked as fast as I could. And I just did a second attack and it's yellow. So not only did I hit him, but I actually hit him in the critical spot. So I did as much damage as I could. I miss again. Green, red, green. And you can see some of these bars are red that are coming by, right? White. These are white. That's white. That's red. You see those red ones? I need to press dodge there. I need to press spacebar. Do you see how fast it was? That's impossible, right? There's no way I'm going to be able to react to that. There's no way I'm going to be able to do spacebar. And the limit was, you can see near the end of this video, I start to get the hang of it a little bit, okay? I'm hitting more greens. I'm hitting yellows. Look at all those yellows. I didn't miss a bunch in a row until the red bar came up and I had to dodge. So I knew that there was an issue, not with the speed of the game, but with the way that the dodge was presented. There was no warning for it. And that was why the game was limited in its speed by the speed of the dodge, because you didn't know when it was coming. So your reaction speed was going to be way too slow. Because I don't need to look at this bar for when to play the note or press my key. All I'm doing is looking at my keys and listening to the music and playing at the specific tempo that I need to. But if I need to look here and know when the dodge is coming and like react to it in hyper speed, that's just not going to happen. So what I did was I implemented a warning system and I was like, boom, I implemented it. It was easy, incredibly fun, feels way more fair. It's satisfying. And oh wait, I don't think it's working. I was trolling here. I don't think it's working when there's 2 bars in a row, but it is working. Okay. So if we go here now, let's go and maybe we can pause it. Wait for it. Boom. What just happened? So I just hit this, right? So I hit in the critical spot. This is yellow. The outside bar is yellow, but the inside is red. So as soon as this starts, wait for it, boom. As soon as that starts, I'm like, oh, this is red. A red bar is coming up. It is coming up. Boom, I hit it. I hit the red bar because I knew it was coming up in the future. No matter that it was 120 BPM, look how many I'm getting in a row here. Boom, 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 boom. And I hit the dodge. I did miss the first one, but I hit the dodge. And I was like, this is a breakthrough. And I was like, 120 BPM is not the limit. 120 BPM is not the limit. I'm going to raise the strongest enemy to 150 BPM. That is, I mean, I can probably do more. And I was like, I can probably do more than 150 BPM with some practice. So let's see here. Look at this. Look how many I just hit in a row. This is 150 BPM. I just hit a dodge. I just hit another dodge. What? I just hit another dodge. Like, it's actually not that bad. I could probably get more than 150 BPM. So I did one step of the, I said, this is what I said. Before this point, I had a pretty bad practice in the programming and with how I was detecting if you were actually hitting or not. So there's a couple things. One thing is this bar, you see how it goes left to right, left to right, left to right? What it actually was doing, it was a rigid body. So it was actually using the Unity physics engine and I was applying a velocity to it. And every time it would reach this position, I would just reset its position to here. And then what I would do is this light gray area was actually an is trigger. So it would detect whenever it's within the area of the light gray, and it would detect a hit if you press the correct key. Or if it was within the yellow, it would detect a critical hit if you were pressing the correct key. And there's already a ton of issues with that because you don't want to be using the Unity physics engine for a rhythm-based game because that's just not going to be precise and there can be physics errors with that. So what I did was I asked ChatGPT what I should do. And he gave me really good advice. So what I did was, let's see if I actually said what I did. You probably won't see changes until you look closely at a side-by-side comparison, which I did. And the moment, okay, let me see but the method at which the white bar moves and the method at which the available area to press is checked will be changed and hopefully smoother and more accurate. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make it smoother and I'm going to make it more accurate. And what I did was instead of, this changes everything. This honestly changes everything. This was huge. What happened was instead of using the rigid body and applying a velocity to it, what I did is I took the BPM. So I told the game, this is what the BPM of this enemy is. And it calculates how fast does the bar need to move from the left side of this to the right side of this. How long is it going to take to go from here to here per BPM? So it calculates the beats. It calculates how long it's going to take. It calculates the speed. So then it starts putting the speed and it increments it perfectly. And it also detects, it has this crazy equation of detecting exactly what my light gray box is and what my yellow critical area is. And it perfectly tells me every single frame if it's there. So thank you, ChatGPT. Beautiful. I did have to change it a little bit. Always change your ChatGPT code. But it was amazing. It did the math for me because I was struggling with the math and ChatGPT is amazing at math. So yeah, that was great. And I think I think it actually improved my gameplay a little bit. I think this is like 200 BPM or something. You can see how many I'm missing, but you can also see how many I'm getting correctly. And I am a decent rhythm game player. So this isn't good accuracy by any means. I would say it's about like, I don't know. It looks like that's 100. That's been 100% accuracy for the last 15 seconds. If honestly I could, because that's pretty good. The last half of that battle, I would say, is about 80 or 90% accuracy, which is pretty good. And here I said more gameplay that's easier to understand. So here it's slower. This was something I needed to change about the animation. That looks glitchy. It's on purpose, but it's glitchy. So I need to change that. What else here? Don't hate it. Just need to consider how and when to start the music, and I need to make enter sound effects for every ability for every enemy. Oh yeah, so I made it an enter animation for every single enemy. That's still the case today. I'm still gonna do that for everything. Oh, and the death effect. Yes. Wait, what's the death effect? Oh, yeah. The death effect is how the audio slows down, which I'll play here. Yep. And now there's also a sound effect for when you click rebirth and you regenerate. So I think that was pretty cool. That was pretty easy. So one consequence with the changes I made with the actual fundamentals of the game earlier is that I had something called speed in my game. And speed was it was what I was talking about earlier, how there's the long sword, which is going to be stronger, and then there's the dagger, which is going to be faster. And the dagger, anything that was any weapon that had a variant that was speedier, what it did was it gave you more time to react. I made the bar slower, but now the bar can't be slower because it's going to mess up the equation of the BPM thing, and it just doesn't make sense. It can't move slower because it needs to move at the perfect speed for what the BPM is set to. And this is still an issue today, is the speed doesn't do anything right now. I need to figure out what speed is going to do within the gameplay to give you a reason to use a dagger or to use a solar spellbook or to use a bow, which is the faster variants of the stronger weapons. Because there's to the dagger, there's a longsword, and to the bow, there's a crossbow, and to the solar spellbook, there's a lunar spellbook. So I need to give you a reason to use the faster variants. Other than that, what I do here, wind sounds. Oh yeah, so this I was just adding more sound effects. Here I started adding music because my guy added some. He gave me a dungeon ambient track, and he gave me some loot music, which is very sick. Here, I was talking about the saving system. Oh my gosh, I can't even begin the saving system. It was so difficult. I really needed that help that I got with it. Yeah, binary formatting and all of that stuff. That was insane. I don't know how I did it, but now I actually understand it. I actually get it now, and I learned so many things I didn't know about. Let me actually go here to the data script. I'm lost in my project. Okay, here we are. I didn't know about. It's not even here. It's actually in the inventory. Hash sets. I learned about hash sets, and I learned about dictionaries. And I learned about structs, So I learned about all those things just from learning about saving the data, because that was the most efficient way to save my data is to use those different things. So that was very cool. Here, added more sound effects, added ambient track, everything I was saying I did before. What else is here? More bug fixing. And here, all right, here's where I start the boss, right? The first boss and the only boss that is in the demo. The boss that is on the end of floor 3, which you need to beat the demo. All right, so it's the stone beetle, right? And the stone beetle, this is the thing, is as I said before in my last video, every boss is going to have a completely new mechanic. And that's why I needed the saving system for when you're outside the boss room and you quit the game. Because every boss is going to have a different mechanic, so I need I need to remake the entire game, essentially, every single time. So I'm hoping that the first boss was the hardest one, and I'm hoping that he takes me the longest amount of time out of all of them. But that's probably not true, because I'm probably going to implement even harder mechanics that are just like, God, this is why you need to make a game design document. Because if I knew what I would have to do before I made the game, if I knew the bosses I was going to make, I would structure the game in a way that'd be easier to program them, right? So that's something that you really need to think about. And I'm thinking about my next project right now already, even though there's a couple months left on this one. and I'm writing everything down because I need to know exactly what the structure is going to be. I need my next project to be organized. This project is no longer organized. It was organized. I will say that the first video I made, 1 month of rhythm game development, it was organized. And I'm not even a good programmer, but it was organized. This is my second game. It was organized. It is not organized now. It is bad. It is very bad. It is really bad. And I have learned a lot. I know what to do now. And yeah, I'll just say that. I know about interfaces. I know about scriptable objects. I know how to make it organized, right? So I'm really hoping, I'm praying for myself for the future that I can make it good. But yeah, let's see what I did here. I did the sprites and everything, and I thought about what I was actually going to do for the boss. Here, this is when I got the first phase of the boss working. This is a spider. So it was the wrong sprite, but I was using it as a test. This is when I started to make the logo. Logo. Finished some main menu stuff and buttons. And then I just made some fonts. I don't know why I made fonts. I was in the mood to make fonts. I don't use these fonts really. This font, it is used in the Rogue Rhythm logo. Like, I think, honestly, I don't know where this one's used. No, I think, oh yeah, the Rogue, you see Rogue? So the Rogue, that's like this font here. I use this font that I made for that. And then Rhythm, there's Rhythm, I made this Rhythm font for that. And then this was another version of the logo. I made these simpler thingies. So that was cool. And then I made a 3x3 font, which I actually use a lot for the, this is the one I actually use a lot. I use it for the text here. So load new. Any of the buttons or a lot of the buttons, they use this font. I think it's easy enough to understand. I mean, I like it. Yeah, I do like it. And at this point, I'm saying I'm working on a tutorial now. Because what I was planning was for the demo, I wasn't going to release it with a proper tutorial. I was just going to release it with a like a information type screen of like, oh, this is what you do in the battle, this is this, and like screenshots. But I was like, I have some extra time. I'm ahead of schedule. I think I can actually make the tutorial a good one instead of like ignoring it, And to this day, the tutorial is still pretty bugged. I do need to edit it. I mean, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. It just needs like a little bit more clarity. I'm going to do that in a couple updates. But you can see I said so much to do, and you can see my polish list. It was 35 at this point. It was literally like 45 at some point. And what that is on my Trello board. I have this thing called polish, and I just throw everything in there that needs polish, or any simple bug, any easy bug I put there. Any bug that I don't understand, I put here that I'm going to do later. But these bugs, these are the rarer bugs, right? Like, I don't know when or why or how this happens. These things, I can reproduce them. So I figure I'll be able to figure them out in like 10 minutes and fix them. So I just throw them in there. And my list was growing big because I was rushing to release the demo. And especially with the boss, it was like messy. So that list was building up. I knew there was this thing. I just put it in the list. And then, yeah, it started to get messy. So this is where we talk about Steam. We talk about Steam now because what is this date? I was really waiting for Steam. So I was trying to get the demo released on July 1st. And you can see already July 3rd, Steam finally got back to me and confirmed my tax information. Because what had happened was I moved houses. And I don't know if this had any impact on it, but I moved houses. And they were like, oh, this house doesn't exist because it was just built. They're like, this house doesn't exist. I had to confirm it with like tax documents. And they confirmed it. They confirmed it like same day or next day. But they still, even though it says you only need to wait 2 days, you only need to wait 3 days, 5 business days, they were taking a very long time to get my freaking page up. But they eventually got it up. So I was able to do all this very quickly. I just spent the whole day putting all this stuff in here. Definitely not how I wanted to look for the final release, but it's good enough. And I still had to wait a couple more days for me to upload the demo. So what I did was I finished the tutorial, and what they have is they have a 21-day minimum until I can post from the day that I first bought the credit. So I don't remember when I bought it. I do have it somewhere, but I bought the credit not 21 days before July 1st. I'll say that. Not 21 days before July 1st. So I was definitely going to be late. But luckily, I was able to get the Steam page up on the 8th, and I was able to release, not on the 8th, but I released on the, I don't remember. I said releasing Friday on the 9th. So I released it on the 12th of July. So that was a couple weeks ago now, right? So you can see here, I added my first unique item. So now I promised that each unique item would change the gameplay, because these items, you see these are pretty simple. I do want to give these some effects, maybe like the higher level ones, but these unique items, you get one unique item per boss. I did try to make them rarer though, kind of not really that rare. It'll just take like a couple kills for a good chance of it. And I want every single unique item from every boss to change the gameplay and make it interesting. So that's what I did. I added my first unique item. You can see it has like a pretty different art style from everything else. I added some shading, actually put some effort into it, because if you make it bad, it'll be kind of good. I've said this before. I just try to make it look simple, right? But if the items look like this, that'd be like, oh, that looks terrible. But when everything looks like this and you get an item that looks like this, you're like, damn, that's pretty fire. No? I think so. Yeah, so updates. Here, look, they're now exactly 46. So there's 46 things on the polish list at this point. And now you can see I've gotten it down to not 27. It's actually, realistically, it's more like 20. I don't know why. How is it so high right now? I swear it was 20 earlier today. Am I hallucinating? So I released my demo out on Steam. Search it, Rogue Rhythm, download the demo. As I said, I'm still updating it. The tutorial's a tiny bit broken. It's good enough to play. And yeah. And I had this warning, your save file is what might be deleted if you close and reopen the game. I still think that might be true. I think I fixed it. I haven't gotten the bug in a while. Like my save file hasn't deleted itself, but I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think it's good now. I honestly think so. What else now? Yeah, so at this point, I released the demo, and that same day, I had to release a little patch, of course, for like stuff that was really wrong. And so far, you can see here, I haven't been posting on the Discord that much. And there's a couple reasons for that. Is because I got addicted to Overwatch, and I got addicted to Slay the Spire, and I got addicted to these games, right? You don't mind the Hoyoverse icon, but I got, I was doing a little bit. I'm still doing a little bit every day, right? I'm forcing myself to do like at least 4 bugs a day, so I can just get this list down slowly but surely. And I said this on my Discord, but being consistent will get this game released, right? If I just stay consistent, it will get this game released. It will take a couple months. I'm going to start school. My internship's going to end, but I'm going to start school, and I will release this game because I really, really want to start my new project. I'm very excited for it. So I'm just trying to stay consistent. So you'll see that, well, that's the one reason why I'm not posting that much on the Discord. But what I am doing is posting these. So this is where it changes from mostly being on the Discord to being on Steam. And I'm just making these Steam posts that have all of the changes. Instead of talking about it on the Discord, I'm actually putting it on one list on Steam. I'm still putting these little messages in Discord for like extra stuff. I'm giving you my thought process and what I'm doing, what I'm thinking of doing, a little bit more of my timeline of how long it's going to take for this and that. So it's still useful. But I'm going to go through my actual updates on Steam now. And well, I'll do that in a second actually, but let me go through this. I'm saying now, like, I can actually see the finish line a little bit, right? There's still so much content it needs to make, but the bugs are easy, the enemies are easy, the items are easy. The hard part is the 10 bosses that have unique mechanics for every single one that I need to change the entire game for. Those are hard. But as I said, I'm excited for my next project, and this is why. I'm very passionate and experienced in the genre that it's in. So I think I have a lot to offer in it. I think I'm talented in it, decently talented. And I'm excited to apply the programming skills and organization skills, make it less spaghetti code, all this stuff that I've learned from this current project. I want to make it good, right? And I want to focus on refining the gameplay, because the thing is, look at my game. I make an enemy. I make a floor, a dungeon floor. I make a boss. And this is something that Pirate Software said before for his story-based game. My game isn't story-based, but it's still kind of content-based. You can play it once or twice or 3 times or 4 times to get 100% accuracy on the monster, or to give yourself a challenge, right? But after that, there's not that much to do because it's content-based. But this game, I'm going to make a gameplay-based game, which is going to, those are games that you can play for thousands of hours, right? Those are the games you can play for a really long time. And I'm very excited for that, because that way I can just give you the building blocks and I can focus on actually promoting the game. I can focus on game modes, stuff like that, where it's like getting the same building blocks, but it's like so much more interesting just by a couple tweaks. And yeah, so July 18th, we've gotten 25 wish lists, and I haven't promoted to anyone. I just sent to a couple friends, and my musician sends to a couple friends, and I have these YouTube videos that get 0 views. And that's how I got 25 wish lists. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. It's probably pretty bad. I feel like this is what I think, is that I think I'm going to get people to play this game either way, just because simply it's a rhythm game, and rhythm game players are very dedicated to rhythm games. They like to try new things. So I think I can get some people to play it. And that was on the 18th. And today we have about 28, I think, wish lists. And as I said, my goal is 100. I just want to break even. I do not care about making money. But with 100 wish lists, I can tell you guys this from what I've heard, is 60% of wish lists are going to convert into buys after the first year. So let's say I get 100 wish lists, and let's say that 60% of them are actual buyers, right? So that's 60 people who bought my game, and I'm selling the game for $7.50 each. So that's $450. Now we have to remember that Steam takes a 30% cut, which leaves me with $315. Let's say I pay my musician his cost. Oops, $315. I pay my musician. What the heck just happened? And now I'm left with $267, right? And I spent $100 actually uploading the games of Steam. Of course, they give you your money back, but I believe you have to make $1,000 profit, not $100 profit. So I'm going to be making this much. I did buy Ableton, which didn't help me that much. So I'm making about basically $0 after waiting a year. If I get to 100 wish lists, which I think I can if I promote at my school and stuff. Just put posters like up at my uni or something. And that's the links I'm willing to go to. I'm willing to go and print pictures and post them up and tell people about it in my class just to get them to buy my $7.50 game, right? I mean, I'll do it. So I think I can break even. But it doesn't really matter. My next project, if I can do it as it is in my head, if I can do it, oh my God, it's going to be so good. I'll literally become a millionaire if it's how I think it is, because I think there is a market for it. And I think it's timeless. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so that's basically it. I've updated the game a couple of times, so I can go to my Steam page now and I can show you just a little bit of these patches. So these patches have been, or these updates have been about a week apart or something. How do we go here? Yeah, so let's view all the announcements. So we can see the first announcement was on July 12th. That was when the actual demo released. And then I had on July 16th. So that was only 4 days later. That's pretty good. And then I had one on the 22nd, which is also less than a week. So those are less than a week updates. And I can show you exactly what's in them. So let's show you the demos released. There's like a few things in here. And all of this is the next update. So that was like 4 or 5 days, 5 days later, something like that. And I did all of this here. Pretty simple. And then this one is the 1.2 update. And it has all of this stuff, right? So pretty simple. And now if I show you my Trello board, this is everything on this left screen is everything I've already finished. That's going to go in 1.3. And all of this is going to be Everything that's above this dashed line is also going to be in 1.3. So this is a bigger update. It's going to be like 20 things in there. So yeah, that's going to be cool. Let's go back to Discord. And yeah, that's basically it. Join the Discord. You can see my log there. You can see my thought process. You can see, you can give me feedback here. Rogue Rhythm on Steam. Rogue Rhythm, right? Rogue Rhythm. Download. Wishlist. Yes. So my next update is going to be focusing on the first boss and focusing on combat mechanics, just getting them just a little bit more polished before I start working on more content. And then I'm going to do the save system that I mentioned earlier, which is going to allow you to save the game outside of a boss room. I hope this gives you an idea of what 100 days of rhythm game development or any game development looks like. It has been summertime. I have been working on it a little bit, but as I said, I got addicted. I'm also a slow programmer, right? I'm slow. I'm very slow. And I'm working on this alone other than the music and the sound effects, which is obviously is a big part with a rhythm game. I'm getting help with that. So you can keep all of that in mind. You can also keep in mind that this is my second game. The only other game was a Subway Surfers clone that I made. You can see, maybe you can compare yourself to what 100 days gets you, because I don't know. I think I have about an hour of gameplay, maybe an hour of gameplay in my game if you can figure everything out pretty easily, or if you know how to play, I don't know, it's some sort of hand-eye coordination, which is who I'm marketing the game towards, just because rhythm games are not that easy. So I hope this was helpful. Hope you can get some inspiration. I want to inspire people. Tell me right now. Tell me, oh, this helped me. This made me want to go work on my game. This made me want to start this project. I want to make a rhythm game now. Yeah, do it. It's not that hard. Make the art bad if you can't do art, or make the art good if you can do art and make the programming bad. Just do one or the other, right? Or make them both good if you're good at both. But yeah, join Discord, Steam, link. Yes. Make a game design document for your game. Make a game design document for your game. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.